All right, the next feature I want to talk about that they showed off at WWDC. This is actually the last one as far as things that were talked about at the event. Universal control. This thing is kind of magic. There's a point in my life where this would have been just like so useful to me. Maybe a little bit less so now, but this is the ability to move across a variety of devices and screens to essentially move your cursor. There used to be a name for this, right? Like there was a thing called Sidecar, but that was exclusive to iPad. Anyway, the point being is I could be starting a project on an iPad, like an illustration, and then I could bring the iPad over to where my MacBook is and just drag components. Like, first of all, have my cursor populate the device, the iPad, my cursor from the MacBook, jump over onto the iPad, and then drag elements from the iPad from the project onto the MacBook seamlessly.
Yeah.
Without any menu system, prompt, like just boom. So they're calling it universal control, and it doesn't stop there. It's even between Macs. So in the demonstration that Federighi did, he then also pulled components into Final Cut Pro,
Right.
which was running on the iMac from the MacBook. So it's across this whole string of products and devices that you might have in your life.
I mean, that's useful.
It sounds pretty useful.
If you're managing a lot of devices and, using them for each use case.
It's also like some projects or tasks you may prefer to do on, let's say, a desktop-based application. Like I'm thinking Photoshop, for example. I might want to get started with an illustration on a touch interface like an iPad, and then quickly move those elements to a Photoshop project.
Yes.
And then continue with like a mouse and keyboard where I feel more comfortable for that portion.
Yeah.
So it is interesting that they've been able to merge those. I don't know how seamless it's going to be in real life. It looked good in his demo, but the demo is heavily vetted.
Right.
So we got to test this out in real life, but that's a cool feature with Apple leveraging its ecosystem. You sense a trend here. These are the types of things they can do. They got the OS moving across.
Yeah, that's really cool.